Welcome back, everyone. I'm Jason and you're watching Jason Jensen Trains. In today's episode, we are building a bridge for our layout. You know, there's always exciting things going on in the workshop. You can see here that I've already been working on the next sci-fi video, so stay tuned for that. And I want to sincerely thank all of the JJT Patreon supporters. Wow, I'm thrilled with how many people are supporting the channel. I truly appreciate it. All right, well, like I said, we're gonna build a bridge today, so let's get to it. Okay, let's start off with a sketch of our bridge, just so we have a rough reference. So for the center section, we'll use this. And I'm actually going to cut off the ends so that it's straight. And then I have a bunch of these panels. Very detailed. I don't know if you can see that with all the rivets. We'll start with doing the plastic first. Then we'll have to build these, and we'll make those out of styrofoam. Let me share some of my other sketches for those of you who maybe have not seen them. Okay, well, after a lot of measuring and cutting, here is our bridge. And as you can see, I built it upside down to make sure that it would be perfectly flat. Now for the hard part. We'll put that in place, and then I have to measure and make these. All right, well, here it is in place. Now what we need to do is put some land and rock in front of that wall. So next we're going to be doing some plaster work. So let's get some of this moved out of the way. And what we'll do is we'll glue these abutments in place and then remove the track and bridge, and then we can do our plaster work. So recently, the channel has reached 30,000 subscribers. So I just wanted to take a minute to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed to the channel. It truly means a lot to me. Thank you so much. So I have lots of rock castings from my old layout. I wanted to quick show you another box of rock castings. That's a pretty deep box. There's a lot in there. And I have 2 more of these. And it's great because they're very lightweight. It's lightweight plaster. Well, as you can see, I busted up some of the plaster castings and placed them where I wanted them. Now we'll glue them in place with liquid nails. Now we can fill in between and start to model this. And what we're going to be doing is using product from Ammo. So I have 3 containers. So I've got mud, which we'll do first. Oh, I forgot to glue a rock on. Okay, this one is like a mud. It's a dark muddy color, and so we'll do that all along the edge, and then we'll do this one, which is a little bit lighter, and then eventually we'll get to this color. Okay, so I've got a container of regular tap water, and I've got a variety of brushes. They're old brushes, not very good, perfect for this. Now we can get our brush wet and kind of shape it or mold it. Smooth it out. We want this kind of smooth because it's supposed to look like mud. Okay, well, as you can see, this is going to take a while. So remember, we're just going along the edge with this. Then we'll move to a little lighter one and go a little further up, and then up towards the wall we'll use the lightest one I have. And you can see they make all different shades. I should actually get a little palette knife or even like a popsicle stick. Hopefully you can tell on camera that it's already changing the look of it. Now we're just wanting to smooth it out. Okay, now we're getting serious. We've got some real dirt. Then I've got some fine dirt. And then I've got rocks. So first we're going to fill in some of these large holes. Okay, now we're going to take denatured alcohol. I think this is 90% or 70%. then we've got half water, half glue. Okay, we're gonna have to let this dry and see what it looks like, and then we'll probably end up coming back in and brushing some of the lighter dirt on it. But so far it's looking good. I'm happy with it. Now we're going to do some dry brushing. This is light sand. Okay, next we have to start to paint the concrete. And we're going to be using two colors, both chalk paint. I wanted to quick show you that I put some mud along here, really just texture, because when that gets painted, it won't look like mud. I'll make it look like stuff is growing on the concrete. And I also went along here. Okay, let's start painting our concrete. I'm starting with a gray, and then we'll move to the chalk paint. We'll do some dry brushing with the light one and probably some washes with the darker one. But we're going to first put a base coat of gray. And this was probably a gray that I had them mix. So if you have a gray that you really like this is a slate gray, you can take this to Home Depot or Lowe's and they'll match it and make a core. All right, I won't make you watch all this, but we're just going to put a base coat on, and then I'll come back and show you the dry brushing and the washes, all the value, and we'll probably do some weathering powders. Okay, our base color is all done. Now we're going to do a lighter gray. And again, it's Parisian gray and it's chalk paint. Chalk paint is super dull. I don't know for sure, but I believe that it actually has chalk dust in it because it actually gives it a little bit of a texture. So I'm starting out going really light. I can always go back and add more if I want. Kind of blending it with my chalk paint cocoon. I want it to be a pretty thin wash. We're slowly building the layers. Notice how I'm rotating. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. Now it's probably half cocoon. I don't know what I mixed it with. Maybe the other light gray. It's a light color. So now, we're giving it a bit of a. Now I probably should get up and grab a sponge and be doing this with a sponge. Okay, so now I'm using light buttermilk. It's really just an off-white. And again, just dry brushing. Now I'm using a wash, and it's Starship, and I put a couple drops and just added a bunch of water. Okay, now we're going to try something that I think is really going to sell it and really make it look like it's concrete. So I'm using a dark gray paint. Hopefully you can see this. Let me show you up close all the little specks. All right, well, as you can see, I've added a bunch of trash. Now I need to get all this glued in place, and then we need to start adding weeds and bushes to it. All right, well, to give you an idea of how my brain works, I'm working over in this corner, and I remember that I had built this barge from Foscale Models, and it has a lot of detail on it. So I brought it over just to see what it would look like sitting there. Like, I loved it. So then I placed this structure here, and it inspired me to start working on the land and create the scene over here. So what I've done is I just took paper and cut it into strips. And now I'm deciding where my retaining wall, it's a stone retaining wall, because there's a stone retaining wall underneath this structure, just on this side and the back side. So we'll continue that little retaining wall, and then the land will go back and then up and over again. So I'm creating my pattern with this paper, and then I can lay that onto the styrofoam and cut it out. So I'll just tape all of this together, and then, like I said, I'll lift this up and lay it on the styrofoam and cut it out. It's so exciting. So here you can see that stone retaining wall that I was talking about. And it's in the back too. So in the back, it'll go straight back to the wall, and then we'll fill that in with the land. Then we're going to have to build a set of stairs, maybe just 2 or 3, that take us up to another platform up here. Okay, so as you can see, I've been busy. There's a main road up here that matches and goes over to the other side of the layout. Okay, so here we have there'll be another road that comes down right here. And so this will all be concrete. Now here I'll put a wood pier. And then it'll probably have a couple steps, 2 or 3 steps. It goes down to a second pier that's down lower. Okay, so this is basically what it's going to look like. And like I said, we'll put a wood pier over here. And I may do another wood pier over here, maybe with a simple gas pump on it. I'm not sure yet. But this is where we're at so far. So I'm really trying to keep this side all concrete, where the other side of the layout, the retaining walls are all stone and the piers are all wood. But on this side, really going to try to stick to all concrete. So this road goes across and picks up right here. And then it'll probably curve. And then it goes uphill and curves and goes up right there. Now I'm going to have to build a wooden deck right there with a ramp coming down right there, because there's a door right there. And then this gets a staircase down the side. So that road right there comes down and then goes in between these 2 buildings and out onto this concrete pier. Now this deck wraps around and we'll have to put a staircase in the back. Same with this one here. And again, I'll put a small wood pier here with maybe 3 or 4 stairs going down to a smaller one that's down lower. Then over here, we have to build another staircase that gets us over onto here. And then we also have to fill in this corner here. And of course, all this has to be painted. And then all of this has to be painted. Oh gosh, and then we have all of this here to do too. It just goes on and on. But that's the fun of it. So I'd like to take a moment and answer a question that I get asked all the time. And that is, how do you keep dust off of your layout? Well, it's a constant battle. But what I believe to be the key is to keep constant airflow. So once a day, you can take a piece of cardboard or paper and fan it over your entire layout. It doesn't take long. First thing in the morning, go into your layout room and fan it, or buy a tall fan that rotates and just let it run for a little while. And then, running trains, being in the room, moving around. But the key is to keep constant airflow, because if you're not in your layout room for, say, a week, the dust particles in the air just settle and they just sit there. But again, it's just a constant struggle. The good thing is, my layout is really old and run down looking. So if there is a thin layer of dust, on certain things, it's not a big deal. But that's the best advice I have for you. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I think we got a lot done today. I'm so happy with the direction the new section is going. And again, thanks to all my Patreons. I truly appreciate it. You guys are awesome. All right, well, until next time, stay motivated and happy modeling, everyone.